Good morning. I am Ted Odell. I got to tell you this first. I'll put it this way. Armin asked me to do this, and he said I had 6 to 8 minutes. Sounds like it's been cut shorter. This is about the closest I'm ever going to get to doing a sermon. But don't compare it to his sermon, because there's no biblical references in this, and this fulfills one of my bucket list goals. I've scratched it off already. So I have a witnessing steward story, and I'm following Kate's advice. I wrote it down because I don't want to screw this up. My life is divided into 2 parts, before and after 1972. What's magic about that? Before 1972, I lived in Carlstadt with my parents, my younger sister, and my brother, my twin. My mom didn't know that she was having 3 kids. I was the surprise, so that was a good news for me. The 3 of us went to a Catholic church for communion and confirmation. In 1972, I got married here at Union Congregational Church. My mother wanted our local parish priest to participate in the ceremony, which required approval from the Catholic Church. And we were pleased to have Father Michael Judge participate in this happy occasion. You may recall that he was one of the fallen heroes of 9/11. So we're all connected somehow, someplace, somewhere. After that, I graduated from Pace, and I went to work in New York City for one of the Big 8 accounting firms. And a partner told me his secret to success. He said, identify the best quality in each person you meet and replicate that quality. Replicate that quality. That was easy in the work environment. Technical skills were abundant, but soft skills didn't exist. Not that easy to find. Where could I look? So begins my life with UCC. I joined this church in the mid-'70s, and every time I came to church, I saw happy people with their families and a church striving to diversify within the Montclair community and beyond. Yes, I can learn something here, I said to myself. I learned about God, community, and giving. I enjoyed listening to the sermons, and I felt challenged every Sunday. I enjoyed the opportunity to participate in the church life. Coffee in the assembly room? It's great. Cookies? Only in the assembly room, though. I enjoyed volunteering my time to help. You've seen me do a lot of things around here. I can't tell you how many things I've done. But shortly after I joined, nominating asked me to be the treasurer. So it was the shortest time between joining a church and being an officer. That was a record, and it was a challenge for me. This was an honor and a real challenge, but I enjoyed the volunteer opportunity. I especially enjoyed the opportunity to interact with our senior minister, Reverend York Peeler. So the interaction was that I was building budgets back then. Can you imagine that? In the Vincent building, on old Excel file spreadsheets, simple ones. And he would come in and he'd say, "What are you doing?" And I'd say, and he'd look at me and shake his head. And then we'd start to talk, and he'd say, "Don't worry, we didn't talk about the budgets, though." He said, we got into things like, what is a congregational church? I didn't know. I was a Catholic, and I came here to get married and stuff. And I said, and how does it govern itself? And I learned all that stuff from him. And how long does it take to really write a sermon? This took me forever to write this one. So let's pause here. Here's a soft skill update. This church is built on volunteerism, from folding chairs, yes, to lengthy meetings. It is, in my opinion, a core value to be replicated over and over. Get involved. Do not wait to be asked. Volunteer your time. This investment of my time solidified my relationship with UCC as an institution and has produced many of my closest friends, and I mean that sincerely. I look out here and you are it. It's not always been smooth sailing. There have been disagreements along the way. We can talk about those, but I don't want to. But my commitment to this church has not wavered. Eventually, I tried another committee, outreach. This team did wonderful things for our community and church. And while on that committee, Steve Harms asked me to get involved with Christine's Kitchen. I remember that day very, very clearly. And what a great opportunity that was for me to help others outside of this church. Every weekend, a different organization brings food and serves lunch to anyone in need at Holy Trinity Church in West Orange. We serve our guests, and they are our guests, with meals prepared by our church families. You, me. Well, not me. I don't cook, but you all do the cooking. We encourage our members to use this as a teaching opportunity at home with their children about sharing, about giving, and stuff like that. Our volunteer servers treat the participants as though they were guests in their home. On average, this church serves 225 guests every year. It's a lot. That's a lot of chicken, that's a lot of meatloaf, ham, potatoes, lasagna, vegetables, desserts, and my favorite, vegetable chili, the vegetarian chili that Mark makes. What makes this a successful event? We utilize 60-plus volunteer families. Go for the prop. This is only 40 trays. Sorry, I can't see you over there. I lost my spot. Every time we host a lunch. We're going to host another soup kitchen on November 21st. This is my plug to help me. See us after church in the assembly room. That's all I'm saying about that. In addition to Christine's Kitchen, the outreach team is expanding our church horizons with other projects. Side Door 2, social justice, immigrant families. Wow. Where can we go next? Let's pause here for another soft skill update. Participation in the church. It's time to give of your time and treasures. Believe me, the feeling is wonderful. It's better to give than to receive. Recently, I was asked what I liked about this church. My answer was from the heart. My church family. For the past 43 years, I've been watching all of you and learning how to be a better person. Again, I learned another valuable lesson in life. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you.